Imagine a warrior so fierce, so ambitious, that even losing an eye in childhood couldn't stop him. This is the story of Date Masamune, the one-eyed dragon of Shur. A man whose life was a whirlwind of battles, betrayals, and sheer, unbreakable will. Born in 1567, Masamune came into a world tearing itself apart. Japan's Sengoku period, or the Warring States period, was an era of constant conflict where powerful warlords, called daimyo, fought for control from a young age. Masamune knew his destiny was tied to the battlefield, but fate dealt him a cruel hand. A smallpox infection as a child cost him the sight in his right eye. In a world where physical perfection was often seen as a sign of divine favor, this could have been the end of his story, but for Masamune, it was just the beginning. Legend has it he plucked out the diseased eye himself. A brutal act that signaled to the world that he would not be defined by his limitations. He took over his clan at the tender age of 17, an age when most young men were still learning the ways of the warrior. But Masamune was no ordinary young man. He was a prodigy of war. His iconic black armor and the golden crescent moon on his helmet became a symbol of terror for his enemies. He was known for his tactical genius, his ruthlessness, and an ambition that burned brighter than any fire. He quickly began expanding the Date clan's territory, swallowing up neighboring lands with astonishing speed. His goal was simple: to unite the northern provinces under his rule and then, perhaps, all of Japan. But as his power grew, so did the number of his enemies. He faced betrayals from within his own family and faced off against much larger, more established clans. One of the most defining moments of his early career was the Battle of Surya-Jahara in 1589. Masamune, with around 20,000 soldiers, faced the mighty Ashina clan, who outnumbered him with 30,000 troops. The odds were stacked against him. A loss here would have shattered his ambitions, but Masamune's aggressive tactics and brilliant strategy won the day. It was a stunning and likely victory that cemented his reputation as a military genius and brought him one step closer to his dream of conquering the North. However, a new power was rising in the south. Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the great unifier of Japan, was consolidating his control over the country. He demanded that all daimyo swear loyalty to him. Masamune, ever the proud dragon, delayed. This was a dangerous game. Defying Hideyoshi was a death sentence. For months, he weighed his options. To submit was to curb his own ambition. To resist was to face annihilation, in a move of incredible political theater. Masamune finally went to meet Hideyoshi, but he didn't go begging for forgiveness. He arrived late, dressed not in somber robes of apology, but in his finest, most flamboyant attire, showing no fear. This bold display intrigued Hideyoshi, who, instead of punishing Masamune, decided to spare the defiant young lord. He saw in Masamune a reflection of his own ambition. While Masamune had to give up some of his newly conquered lands, he kept his life and his core domain. He had stared into the face of Japan's most powerful man and survived. After Hideyoshi's death, Japan was once again thrown into chaos, leading to the legendary Battle of Sekigahara. Masamune sided with the eventual victor, Tokugawa Ieyasu, who would go on to establish a shogunate that would rule Japan for over 250 years. Masamune's support was crucial. And under the new Tokugawa regime, he became one of the most powerful and trusted daimyo in the land, the one-eyed dragon. Once a rebellious warlord, transformed into a wise and cultured ruler. He built the magnificent city of Sendai, turning it into a prosperous cultural and economic hub. He even sponsored one of Japan's first diplomatic missions to Europe, sending a delegation all the way to Rome. The man who once plucked out his own eye had a vision that extended far beyond the battlefields of Japan. Date Masamune's story is a testament to the power of human will. He was a man who turned a disability into a symbol of strength, who defied emperors, and who carved out a legacy that has lasted for centuries. He was the one-eyed dragon, and his roar still echoes through the annals of history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into samurai history, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more stories of legendary figures. See you next time.